Joining us right now is Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire with much more on this. Senator, thanks for being here. Just 22,000 jobs added last month, the first report since Trump fired the head of BLS. And notably, you've got this downward revision in June, which showed that the U.S. economy lost 13,000 jobs that month instead of a gain of 14K. It's the first negative employment month since December 2020. What's your reaction to this report?
Look, this report is really concerning. President Trump's economic policies aren't working. Prices are up. Manufacturing is contracting. This is a result of, among other things, the president's reckless tariffs. What I hear from businesses and consumers is that there's so much uncertainty in the economy. Prices are going up. The tariffs are like a sales tax for everyday Americans. And so businesses don't know whether to invest or hire because there's so much uncertainty. And it's a direct result of what Donald Trump and his administration are doing.
The president last night was asked about it, and he basically said, like, if he'll believe it, believe the numbers today. And he essentially said, we'll see. But in a year, that's when the real numbers are going to show. The real numbers are going to show, I don't know, real numbering. If the president, the White House, Republicans on the Hill, if they say, and I'm waiting for reaction right now, Senator, if they say they don't believe these numbers, given how the president and the accusation the president made against the head of BLS before firing her last month, what do you say to that?
Look, numbers are numbers, math is math, and this is an administration, whether it is President Trump talking about the economy or whether it's Secretary Kennedy talking about healthcare and vaccines, they just don't want to accept numbers and evidence. And there are lots of us, both sides of the aisle, who have worked in good faith in the past, sharing data, trying to understand it together, and trying to come together to move the country forward. And what's really concerning now is when you have a bunch of people who just deny facts and data leading our country, it makes it very difficult to have that kind of bipartisan work to really bring Americans together and do what we need to do to grow our economy, lower costs, and make sure the economy works for everybody.
And Senator, I'm not even thinking about it. I mean, that feeds directly into the hearing that you were part of yesterday. I mean, you sit on Senate Finance. Yeah. Robert Kennedy, the health secretary, he testified yesterday in wildly contentious hearing. We've played a lot of sound from it. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a man I love and trust, and watching it in his fairness, he put it, basically he said that if people were watching yesterday, they were assaulted with misinformation coming from the secretary. I mean, he accused you of lying about people not being able to access COVID shots after he's changed the policy at one point. I want to play for everyone just part of your line of questioning with the secretary.
Did it behind closed doors.
No, the data is all public.
Now parents who decide that they do want their children to have
You're just making stuff up, Senator.
I'm not
You're just making stuff up.
You know, sometimes when you make an accusation, it's kind of a confession, Mr. Kennedy.
Senator, after sleeping on it and talking colleagues, are you hearing from any Republicans, even behind the scenes, that this changed anything, that they are going to push for him to resign or to be fired after this?
Look, what we saw from Secretary Kennedy yesterday was lies, obfuscation, spin. He really poses a danger to Americans' health and safety. That's why I voted against his confirmation. That's why he should resign. And what you saw yesterday is every time we tried to bring up facts or evidence and get him to deal with it and have a conversation about it, he just would accuse us of lying. And what I was saying there is he generally he lies when he is confronted with his own bad decisions. And the way he deals with that is to accuse us of doing what he's doing. And that's what I was really trying to get at. Mm-hmm. In terms of my Republican colleagues, what you saw was especially the two of the Republican senators who are medical doctors, really challenging Secretary Kennedy, because they're getting information from their fellow doctors and patients on the ground about how difficult it already is now to get the new COVID booster. I've heard directly from people already in other states about how difficult it is for them to get a COVID shot, even if they want it. And what we know is that, in New Hampshire, we're the live free or die state. We believe in individual freedom. We also believe in common sense. We want all our kids to be able to be free to go to school. That means that kids who have a healthcare condition, which means they can't get the shot, are protected when kids who are healthy do get the shot. And that's where decades of public health policy has kept our kids safe and eradicated disease. And Secretary Kennedy's reversing that.
Senator, he testified before the committee. He accused you of lying. One of the former top CDC officials who actually resigned last week in response to the CDC director being fired, did some fact checking on CNN last night. I mean, this is a man who was just there and said the things coming out that the secretary was saying, said he was stunned at the number of truths that he said, and quote, he did not tell the truth. He lied to Congress. Does the committee, can Congress do something about that? Do you expect that?
Congress can do something about that if it chooses to. We are trying to make sure that the American people understand that Secretary Kennedy is not accurate, deliberately at times misleads people about the safety of vaccines, about what the president's big, ugly bill did. I mean, our nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said millions and millions of Americans will lose their health insurance coverage and have less access to health care because of the cuts to Medicaid, among other things, in that big, terrible bill that they passed. And Secretary Kennedy said that wasn't true yesterday. So what I want Americans to understand is that Secretary Kennedy is not interested in data. He is not interested in any data or science or math unless it agrees with his vaccine cynicism, I'll say, unless it makes him look like he's right. And so what I am focused on right now is working with my colleagues, working with the healthcare providers, with insurance companies to make sure people can continue to get the healthcare they need. And I hope reverse some of the actions that the secretary has taken and that my Republican colleagues took in that bill they passed just last month.
Well, there will be a long fallout from what happened yesterday in that committee hearing. Senator, thank you for your time. Omar.
Well, breaking overnight,